Before you start, Ritu, I just wanted to check, will you be sharing any content which we can also keep with us as, a learning tool, do you think?
I will be more than happy to share this entire presentation, though it is brief, but it captures what I'm going to talk about today. And then maybe we can connect later on, if there are more questions and if it requires more discussion.
Sure, thanks.
Okay, so
Awesome. That would be lovely since I'm not able to write anything. Yeah.
yeah, no problem. So once again, a very warm welcome and thank you so much for joining on a Saturday morning. The brief for this webinar was around, what I had decided, what I want to present my coaching model that I have developed, and it is called P.H.O.E.N.I.X. And, in this presentation, we are going to cover we will first look at different coaching models that exist. Then I am going to briefly talk about that. Why did I think that there is a need for something called P.H.O.E.N.I.X, which is the coaching model that I have come up with. Okay. And what's in the name? Why did I come up with this? Because there is so much that goes into a name. So a little bit about that. How can the coaches bring their own magic to P.H.O.E.N.I.X and giving wings to P.H.O.E.N.I.X? So we will cover all of that. And just give me one moment. All righty, and yeah. So in terms of the coaching models, so see, one thing is that, when there is so much that already exists in terms of models and in terms of information on coaching or anything else for that matter, why there is a need to reinvent the wheel as such, right? There is so much that already is there. We can pick that and just go about implementing it. And that was the reason why I researched some of the coaching models that exist, and there is fantastic amount of work that has already been done around it. But this also kind of motivated me to come up with my coaching model, because I personally felt, with whatever limited research I was able to do, that there is a slight gap that perhaps need to be filled in, and it's purely my understanding and my observation. I'm not going to say that I have done extremely absolute research. I'm sure that there is more that exists that I've been able to dig up and research on. So in terms of existing coaching models, there are many. So there is something called CIGAR, which focuses on, current reality, ideal, gaps, actions, and review. There is, I think a lot of us have gone through Peter Hawking's very famous CLEAR model, which is about contracting and listening, exploring, action, and review. And a lot of these models, if we see all these models, but whether it is steer or coach or gains, partner, anything that we pick up, and I have another slide on that, which is achieve and arrow and T-grow, which comes from the very famous grow model again. What I felt was that all these models are coming from the client perspective. All these models are focusing on the client. All these models are focused on training the coach in terms of how to be effective, in terms of how to support the client. And so before I move ahead, actually, two things I really want to do. One is to just to welcome the other two participants who have joined us and give them a little summary of what I have covered in the last 10 minutes. Hi, Sushmita, and hello. I'm sorry, I'm not able to. Hi, Safia, hi. So, in the last 10 minutes, we have just discussed about the brief of this webinar, where I'm going to talk about my P.H.O.E.N.I.X coaching model. And we just started looking some of the existing coaching models. So before I move ahead, any comments or any observations from from any one of you on the existing coaching models, or what has been your experience? Are you using one of them, or are you using your own coaching model? Okay, so I think if there are no comments, I'm going to move ahead. So after having researched the existing coaching models, why did I decide that I want to develop my little own model? Because I wanted to put both the coachee and the coach at its core, at my coaching model's core. And of course, the whole coaching profession and the coaching service is all about the coachee. But I realized very early that it immensely benefits the coach as well, and why not bring it up in the model? Because every time a coach refers to a model, he or she needs to acknowledge that he or she is here to learn as much as the coachee is going to learn in the entire process. And yeah, so that's what it's written here, that uh, a coaching model that not only helps a coach to be holistically effective for his or her clients, but also focusing on a coach's improvement and inner workings. Now, I think the keyword here for me is inner workings, because all of you will agree that until a coach goes through a transformation within, um, it does not show outside. And when it does not show outside, when we do not work on ourselves, and when we do not work on our own flaws and biases and judgments and everything that a human tends to do, we are not able to be 100% effective when we are dealing with the client. So uh, that's why inner workings become extremely important. And when I go through the whole P.H.O.E.N.I.X model, you will realize that every step of the model is as much for the coach as it is for the client. What's in the name? So a little bit of fun and trivia here. I didn't want to make this session just purely academic or little too heavy. So Phoenix, the mythological bird, is said to have risen from the ashes, and it is it is known that every time it dies and rises, it comes up back with renewed youth to live through another cycle. And in a way, I think coaching is also about that. Every session we try to bring in new renewed uh, uh, energy into the client space, into our own space, because every time you interact with the client, you also reflect a lot, that what have we learned from this conversation today, how has it affected us or has improved us. So Phoenix comes from there. It is also a name given to a person or a thing of peerless beauty or excellence. And I think it'll be an understatement if I say that coaching is all about that. It's about peerless beauty. It's about excelling. It's about the drive to become better in with every single conversation. It's about this passion to be able to help our clients. And what is not beautiful about that, right? Anyone who is familiar with Harry Potter and the series, there was a phoenix in that. The phoenix name was Fox, and it had many powers, including the ability to heal most injuries with his tears, carry incredible heavy loads, and fighting powers that Phoenix had. Now, I don't literally mean here that we should be healing somebody with our tears or stuff like that, but this is mostly like a metaphor or a symbol here. What I'm trying to say here is that just like Fox in Harry Potter, the coaching model here and all the coaches really try to heal, to improve, to make somebody lead a better life. And in the space that we share with our clients, we do a lot of heavy lifting in terms of conversations, candid conversations, trying to come up with action goals and, all of that. And of course, the whole empowerment and enablement that we provide, not just to ourselves, but to the client as well. Again, in Harry Potter, Fox plays a recurring role as the trusted companion of Dumbledore. He is loyal and an intelligent protector. Now, what does it tell about us, the coaches, or the Phoenix model? It says, to me, it means that, it is a guiding light. This model, at least for me, is a guiding light. It is going to stay loyal to me. And the more I go back to it, the more nuances I can find out, or whoever is able to relate to that model, can understand the nuances of it and implement it. So that way, it's a trusted companion, and of course, it's a model, right? So it carries a lot of intelligence and a lot of knowledge. So intelligent protector in that way. Now, how can the coaches bring their magic to Phoenix? So it's just a little visualization exercise that I have done here again to break the monotony of, the entire heavy conversation that we're having around the coaching model. Phoenix gives listening and thinking environment. Phoenix and of course the coaches, with the help of a coaching model like Phoenix, it gives a listening and a thinking environment. So how a coach can bring his or her magic is, by providing that thinking and listening space, absolutely authentic, absolutely unbiased space to the client. Helps the coach and the coachee to renew their journey. So in one of the scenes of Harry Potter, Fox the Phoenix actually dies and then rise from its own ashes. So that is a symbol of renewing our journeys, and any number of time. There is no limit to it. It is our journey. It is a client's journey, so we can renew it any number of time that we want to. Helps in defeating the demons. And what I mean by demons here is not literally like an anaconda or a snake or something like that. That again is a metaphor. But in our current VUCA world and the Bani world, the demons are, I would say, much more smarter because they have the ability to hide. And these demons, create issues. They bring in a lot of negativity. They create traps around us, around the client. So the coach and the coaching model helps in defeating the demons. Empowers you to heal. As I was mentioning in my previous slide, that Phoenix in Harry Potter had the power to heal through his tears. So what I'm trying to say here is that we as coaches have a lot of power to heal. And if heal is like a strong word here, maybe let me just say to support a client in their healing process and their improvement process. And of course, it is one of the many magics of life. So there is so much beyond coaching as well for the coach and the client. But nonetheless, coaching is beautiful. It is a magical journey. I think there are a lot of people around the world who vouch for its effectiveness. And anything that is effective and anything that is beautiful and anything that comes from a very genuine and authentic space, I think it is magical. So to summarize, I would say that these visualization snapshots, let me just call it, can really help us in bringing our own magic to the coaching conversation. And this is the last slide before we have a discussion, and if there are questions, and we can just generally chit chat. In this slide, I'm going to cover the details of Phoenix, and that's largely about it. If anybody was wondering what is the full form of Phoenix, so it stands for purpose, habits, operate, evolve, nurture, iterate, and the X factor. My favorite here, of course, is the X factor, and then we will cover it towards the end. And now I'm going to just go into the detail of every word. So when I say purpose, we all know that coaching is a purposeful space. It is a meaningful space. I think anybody who joins this this community or this service comes with a purpose. Nobody joins just random. Oh, it's another profession I want to join. I don't think that happens. Everybody joins with a purpose, and then when a client is coming to a coaching conversation, he or she also has a certain purpose. Or if that purpose seems to be missing or fading away, it is the coach's responsibility to, you know, kind of bring that purpose to light. So when I say the P.H.O.E.N.I.X model is about both the coach and the coachee, so in terms of purpose, it encompasses the need for coaching. It encompasses the need for seeking change. And of course, a coach needs to reflect every single time that what is the purpose, why he or she is in this profession, in this service. And I think every time we remind ourselves that, you know, we bring a lot of authenticity, a lot of genuineness to our conversations with the client. And just to just a disclaimer that these descriptions are not exhaustive, so we can keep on adding more to it. So purpose can mean anything to anybody. It is very individualistic. We can define it even more. So please know that this is only representational, and we can all add our meaning to this. Habits. Now, once the purpose is established, the client identifies new habits that will help in achieving the purpose. And then, because these actions bring change, and then another habit that needs to happen is the habit of commitment, because when there is commitment, then there is change. On the coach's side, I think a coach also has to spend a lot of time in developing new habits. You know, even listening effectively is a habit which needs to be honed and you know, practiced time and again. Asking effective questions, it is not just a matter of skill, but it is also a matter of developing it as a habit. And when we talk about competencies, all the ICF competencies that exist, just learn them as much that they become like a default habit, because then the chances are that, you know, it becomes automatic. It becomes automatic in our mind, and the conversations with the client become more effective. So maybe, you know, for us as a group, what we can reflect upon is that what are some of the habits that the coaches need to develop, and how that process can help in helping our clients to form certain new habits to bring about change. Operate. This involves implementation of actions, new habits, what to start, what to stop. So this is basically in the middle, and this is like an operating system, right? That the purpose is established, we have thought about the habits, but then the execution needs to happen. For the client, this is like the proof of the pudding. So that essentially is about that. And on the coach side, I think, again, we need to also have our operating system in place in terms of, you know, keep on learning every single time, not thinking ki, you know, we have learned whatever and we do not need to upgrade on that. Developing new skills, there are new technologies coming up, AI, chat GPT, stuff like that. We need to evaluate that. Do we need to consider those in our operating system or not? So all these questions in terms of operations, a coach needs to ask himself or herself, and then have a keen eye on how the client is operating in their improvement journey and in their growth journey. Evolve. This is again like, you know, very interesting, because as the client starts to see the change, evolving in a better version of himself or herself is important. So something needs to happen, an improvement needs to happen, you know, for the client to see some growth or to have some motivation. sustenance of actions that are working, that is extremely important. You can't just start and stop doing something. Sustenance or consistency, there is a lot of magic in consistency. So as a coach, we need to help our client in becoming consistent. And even when the coaching conversations stop, how do we build that sustenance muscle in our client, that they are self-enabling, and they can empower themselves. And evolve is also about course correction. It is also about uh, you know uh, just knowing that what is working, what is not working, what is the client responding well to, what is he or she not responding well to. So evolution or the evolving process happens in not just in a larger time span, but it also happens in a shorter time span of one conversation of 40 minutes or an hour. So just being really mindful of to evolve as a coach, and how we are helping a client is extremely important. Nurture. Now I think without nurturing, growth and evolving is not sustainable. Everything you grow needs to be nurtured. I'll just take an example of, let's say, if you are gardening, if you have put a plant, it can't it may grow for some time, but then if it is not nurtured over a period of time, there are chances that it may not do well, it may die, and all of that. And I think a lot of learning comes from nature also, that how nature continues to nurture, constantly nurtures everything that is around, everything that it encompasses, actually, be it the human beings, be it the plants or anything. So in terms of the whole coaching model, uh, nurturing includes acknowledging progress, extremely important, because who does not love acknowledgement, who does not love recognition or celebrations and congratulations, right? Celebrating new milestones with the client, being result oriented. We have celebrated, but let's look ahead, what is ahead. And then obviously creating a nurturing support system, and there is a coaching competency around that as well, that how can we help our clients even more if they need more support, and which is not in the coaching purview. Can we find out that support system for the client if he or she is willing? So, and again, you can keep on adding a lot of stuff to this bucket as well. Iterate. Iterate is repeating the best practices that has helped in self-growth. And when I say self-growth, I'm again talking in terms of the coach and the coachee. Use the experience and insight to develop growth mindset. Again, this ties back to one of the coaching competencies around developing a growth mindset. And that can only happen when when you are repeating yourself, when you're iterating the best practices, when you're going back to your experiences and learning from them. Get motivated by achieved growth to target new growth. The idea is to not just put a pause once something is achieved. And in our coaching process also, we have seen that once we have developed a new skill, that's not enough, because human nature is constantly changing, human issues are constantly changing, the world around us is constantly changing. So how do we keep on staying connected, staying up to date with everything that is around us to be able to help our clients better? So that can only happen when we are motivated enough by our growth, and then have an eye for ki ab aage kya karna hai, and how can we. And similarly, when we are helping our clients, you know to develop that iteration muscle is extremely important. It's not like if you've tried one thing, it has worked, let's stop it, let's try something else. I don't think it works like that. If something is working well, then repeat, rinse and repeat. And then we come to the last part of it, which is the X factor. Now, X factor is the untangible. It is the what you feel in your gut and what you feel within you, what you feel in your bones and your cells and your tissues, which is difficult to describe, but which has a lot of mystical powers, so to say, right? So it includes what makes a coaching journey more effective for a client. Right intentions. Does a coach has right intentions? Is the client coming with the right intention and not just coming, oh, my organization has asked me to be part of a coaching process, or let me just try coaching for my personal issue. But my sense is, and I strongly believe that if on both the sides, if the right intentions are not there, something is going to go miss and the effectiveness is going to suffer. Deeper meaning. Again, a space for a coach to come from, and then bring that meaning to the client side as well. We speak a lot about feelings and instinct and gut when we talk about the whole coaching process. Very important for the coach to hone these mystic powers that a human holds, right? Only then we are able to listen effectively, or to listen to what the client is not saying, understand the body language, understand what potentially a client may mean, besides the language that he or she is using. So that is also a lot of hard work, I would say. Factoring in external elements that are out of control. Now, that is again very important, because after acceptance is important, right, for a client as well, that we may be on a progressive or an improvement journey, but there are a lot of factors which are not in our control. So can we identify them and can we manage them? And two, can we, if we can't manage them for whatever reasons, because there are powers which are beyond us, can we accept them and make peace with them? I think it's important in the whole journey of happiness and progress. Self-love and let me just add gratitude also here, these two things. Again, we all know that you can't serve from a empty cup or from a half cup. So for you to be full and to be able to bring your gifts to somebody else, I think self-love is extremely important. A client also needs to have self-love to be able to progress, to improve. If somebody is self-criticizing in nature, I think it hinders the progress to a lot of extent. So as much self-love, I think that no amount is enough. Bring as much of it as possible. And gratitude, I think it's one of the most beautiful things to exist in this world. Gratitude keeps us humble, it makes us kind, and it just allows us to see all the blessings that are around us. Even when things are not working in our favor, there are 20,000 things that are working in our favor. So can we be grateful to that, what the universe has to offer to all of us? And I think when we operate from this space of X factor, in the initial slide when I've spoken about the inner working, so all these things help in the inner workings, which we are not able to say, let's say, on a day-to-day basis, but in a long run, when we sit back and reflect what we were and what we have become, then we realize that these X factors have really helped us in covering that journey and in bettering ourselves. And if these X factors are present in the client space as well, if we can bring them to the client space, I think that also has a lot of power, that also has a lot of magic. Yeah, so that's about the Phoenix model and its details. This is what I had to offer today, and thank you so much for being such a patient audience. Anybody, if any comments, any observations, any questions, let's just talk.
So, Ritu, let me just break the silence, and I only have to not really discuss anything, but I think you've put it so beautifully. And I've been thinking of using this Phoenix because this has been on my mind for so many years. When I started my own programs and I started as an entrepreneur, Phoenix was always something that I still have that written on my program name as Phoenix. And I use that in some corporate training programs as well, with the same sense. And you brought it to life so beautifully that I just need to thank you once, because this was something that I had probably just pushed back for some reasons not known to me. And this was meant for me to attend this talk today that you've given and revive it. Thank you so much. And this so beautifully resonates with me today. Thank you.
It's lovely to know, Bharti. Thank you. Just one question. When you say that, I mean, does this model exist, Phoenix, as such? Because when I was working on it, I just came up with the name and I thought that I am working on it. But what I'm asking is that
No, you're right. You're right. No, this is not a model, but Phoenix as such was something, because so rising from the ashes is the very name says. And whenever you are, when I'm facilitating a program with a group of people, this is what I start with. That what is it that we are doing? So if you're reviving a team or you're working for a coaching practice, Phoenix was something that always brings life to that program or that agenda.
yeah.
Right, essentially when I'm working with the organization. So that's where I'm coming from.
Oh, great. Then, there is this beautiful statement I had read somewhere that ideas have the power to travel. So I think it was your idea long back ago, which traveled.
Oh no. Oh no, so kind of you. But so it was not originally my idea. I read it somewhere and I had just picked it from it and kept it close to my heart that this is something that resonates with me. So of course it has been traveling from distant, because this was some foreign some international a website that I saw this on, and from there we've been carrying it maybe.
Okay, great. So I'm glad that, both of us stumbled upon it. Wonderful. Yes.
Yeah, it's actually interesting that Bharti makes the point that she does. So, first of all, Ritu, what I'd like to acknowledge is the fact that I think it's a very, very well brought together, model, because I think eventually the concepts of coaching need to come alive in our engagements when we are working with our clients. And I think somewhere along the way, what becomes very essential for all of us to be able to utilize is the ability to make use of each of the tenets and principles that are part of the process of coaching. And I think what really works here is the way you have kind of pulled them together under the name of Phoenix. Now, interestingly for me, Phoenix, again, I come from a background of, having studied literature as a student and having done a whole lot of stuff around that. So Phoenix definitely is a poem that also comes up in our literature studies in graduation and masters, etc. Simply because of the metaphorical rising from the ashes, recreating yourself, even to the extent of having completely, in a way, and again metaphorically, almost destroying what your earlier avatar was. So being able to completely renew yourself and come up from the ashes, almost leaving behind what you were and starting afresh. And in a lot of ways, conceptually, it ties back very well with what we all reach out to do when we are engaging with our clients. I think I see the value of this model in being a good iterator, as well as something that can be very easy as a handy acronym to use in order for us to keep in mind what it is that we want to make sure we are not missing out on. So yeah, good thinking there, and was very interesting listening to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all the motivation, Neera. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I think
Hi,
that,
Ritu.
yes, hi. Hi, Safia.
Hi, apologies for joining a little bit late. The purpose of me joining the call was actually um, for me to refresh my memory and also my mind in terms of what the coaching model is all about and how it resonates with each and every one of us. So thank you so much for giving me that opportunity to be a part of uh, uh, your session, and also the ability for me to refresh my memory about how my coaching model and what it means to be, and how you have adapted the coaching model for you. So I just wanted to thank you for giving me that opportunity to refresh my memory and be a part of your session. Thank you very much.
No, I'm so glad that you joined. Thank you for joining. Okay, so I think we are well on time. It is 11:52, and I know it's a Saturday afternoon, and everybody will have things planned. So that's all from my side. Big thanks for this wonderful, lovely community of all females here. Not that I would not have been welcoming if there was the other gender here. But yeah, thank you so much, and looking forward to stay connected on the community, on LinkedIn or WhatsApp, anywhere else.
Sure. Thank you so much. I'm going to drop off and
Okay, bye. Have a
Bye.
lovely weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.